a lot of veterans need companionship. They can feel a little isolated. So just having somebody to chat to who's not going to judge them or say anything bad. Sometimes veterans need to vent, and they can vent to me because I don't take it personally. I understand that their venting is born out of frustration with whatever situation, and it's not at me. It's just they need somebody to listen to them. Some of my clients are actually the family members, because we support families. I have one lady who needed bereavement counselling. I believe her son was a veteran and her husband is a veteran. So she fitted our criteria. And really she was stuck in the rage or the anger part of grief. And we managed to get her bereavement counselling so that she could work through that. She didn't really understand why she was just so angry and all the time, but once the bereavement counselling happened, she said, I feel so much better.
My mum passed away in 2019, which obviously, you know, when your best friend, your mum, your life, just goes. And then I had trouble with a member of my family who basically just didn't look after my mum, and I didn't know which way to turn. Then my son went off the rails big time. Really, I felt as if I was screaming down the phone. I was in a tunnel, I couldn't get out. I didn't know how to get out. People kept telling me to get a grip. I should be getting over things. You know, these things happen. And no, they don't just happen. People, yes, some people do get over it, but I couldn't get over it. You think when it's part of your family's always going to be with you through hell and high water. My family's not. My family's destroyed me, but destroyed me big time. And this tunnel was getting longer and longer. And I phoned up FirstLight Trust to speak to them, to ask for help, because I didn't know where to turn or who to turn to. And I had a guy who came out, his name was John, to come and speak to my son. Obviously, he came after my son left here. Then he put me on, I can't remember if I phoned or he put me on to somebody who then they was phoning me. And at first I thought, this is not going to help, but I'll give it a go. And without them, I wouldn't be here today. I would have honestly have gone in that corner and just given up on life.
If you are lonely and isolated, it's really difficult to see things in perspective. And if you are isolated and lonely from who you are, that creates a massive hole inside you.
The first thing, they let me shout and scream at them down the phone. So that got the anger and all the bad vibes out of me before I could even start and talk. Then they listened. That was the main thing. I actually found somebody who was actually listening to me and knew where I was coming from and wasn't saying, you're being stupid, you know, you've got to get over it. They wasn't saying that, they was listening, and that's the main thing, they was listening. And then they put the step there and thought, we've got to get on this step. Then they gave me phone numbers or addresses or wherever, or they gave me the contacts that I needed and told me how to get onto that step.
One of the skills of FirstLight Trust workers is that we're able to take a problem or a situation and unpick it and then deal with each little bit by bit. And sometimes when veterans are in a muddle or in the middle of a difficulty, they can't unpick what they need to do. So I think our skill is unpicking it and then responding to each little bit so that the problem gets resolved.
Jane is my guardian angel. She is the person who comes from heaven and tells me what I need to say no and say. She's just amazing, and I really can't express that enough. She really is an amazing woman. She seems to know the answers to everything. She's just great. And even now, if I need to know anything or I'm feeling upside down, I get on the phone. Jane, can you phone me? Or can I phone you at such a time? And she's there. There's never a time where I can't phone her. I can phone her anytime. And that's what I like. And the things she was saying to me, you know, and she knew who to get me in contact with. She knew who I'd got to phone if I needed to phone anybody. She just knew how to go around things, and it was great. Absolutely great. I just can't praise her enough. She's amazing.
I'm here basically to work with the veterans and to respond to whatever their needs are. One of the reasons I do this work is that my father was a veteran, my grandfather was a veteran, but also my son is a veteran, so I'm a veteran's daughter and a veteran's mother. And although I've never served myself, I have seen firsthand some of the impact of service.
People are amazing. You know, our bodies are amazing, our brains, our hearts are amazing. And what makes me very sad is that, particularly in the area that we work in, that particular sector, people are not often seen like that. And when you start to understand it, not only does it create the bridge of understanding, but actually it enables people to think that somebody might believe that in them and see them, and enables them to at least manage stuff and start to get better. So to me, that's hugely, hugely important. And I have to say, I'm really proud of the people that I work with, because all of them see that.
When Alan goes away on a Monday morning, it's horrible because you're on your own. I've got my dogs, yeah. At the minute I'm having mobility issues because obviously I've got bursitis. But it is horrible because the house seems not as messy, not as noisy. And, you know, it's even if like the television's on, the house is so quiet, and it's horrible because you are living in isolation, and that can get your mind thinking in, you know, running away with itself to a certain degree, if I can put it like that. It runs away. But I know I can phone Jane if I ever feel really down and say, Jane, I'm having an off day. And I know she'll pick me up.
Actually, just getting people to chat and having them come back. So that I know that whatever it was we spoke about last time had some value to them, so they're willing to come back.
To me, it was normal. It was becoming normal. It was a part of life. Once I got back on that step, I realised somebody actually did care and somebody did want to help, you know. So that's what I did. But you've got to have a step to get onto, and then you take your time and you move on when you're ready to move on. But it becomes easier. It does become easier, and you feel as if you can talk about things a lot more. Like I can talk to my husband about things a lot more now. Now I've had counselling. Now I've had the support of Jane and Dorinda. I feel now as if I'm virtually 100%. I know I've still got a long way to go because these things don't, you know, happen overnight or in a few weeks. It does take months, in fact probably years. But with the determination and with obviously the support I've got through these guys, I can fight the world now where I couldn't before.
One of the amazing things that the hubs do, and one of the amazing things that human beings do, is if you create a space and an ability to create a connection in somebody's own time, they perform miracles. And I've seen it happen. I mean, I call it the magic dust. Everybody goes, oh, Dorinda, don't understand it. But I defy anybody who walks into any of our cafe hubs to go, oh Christ, now I understand what you're talking about. Now I get why it works. It's like these are places where that bridge can happen, and then the miracles happen. And they are miracles. I mean, we've seen people turn their lives around from no more than having a place to come, feel great, be acknowledged as a person, possibly start to matter, and then create their own journey into a life that matters to them.
You might be in this dark tunnel and they don't know how to get out of it, and they probably think they can get out of it. But if they do not phone, even families phone or just ask for support, they will never get out of it. They've helped me a tremendous amount, and I can't thank them enough from the bottom of my heart.